Love, light, and blessings. Shamanic Arawak Priestess here, and I'm gonna make this video. It's gonna be a mini haul because I'm doing a Laveau year, deaf year, and slash. I've been working with the Hoodoo tarot for the last couple of days, and this deck has far exceeded my expectations. Like, I knew when I was doing the walkthrough of it that I was gonna connect with this deck. I was excited about it when I first pre-ordered it back in August, because a lot of people that have been following me know I talk a lot about conjure and hoodoo and all those wonderful things. So I feel like this deck, it's worth talking about and actually making a video about it, because so far the readings I've done with it in these last couple of days have been so powerful, and I feel like a lot of intentions went into making this deck. So I'm going to start with the quick mini haul and just show you some things that I got. So I'm only buying things that I need. So I needed more candles because for those of you that are new to my channel, I am a root worker, so I do work for myself and others. So I needed more of these cross candles because I do work with figurine candles, so I bought more of these. I plan to do some workings with this in different colors. I have particular spells that I do with these type of candles. So those are the first couple of things I'm showing you guys. I also got, okay, so one of the people that I've talked about in the 29 Days of Melanated Excellence was Mary Laveau, and I did a lot of research on her, and one part of my research led me to this book written by Denise Alvarado, and it's called The Magic of Marie Laveau. And there's spells in here, but I didn't buy it for that because, you know, my spell work and things like that I've learned from the initiations that I've done and from family traditions and my mom and, you know, the women in my family and my mentors and teachers and things like that. But I bought it because it has historical, like, you can find out a lot about Mary Laveau in this book. I've actually read some good reviews that there's some really good information about her. Like, it seems like it's a well-researched book about the life of Mary Laveau. So I kind of wanted to read about that. And the book is called The Magic of Mary Laveau, Embracing the Spiritual Legacy of the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans, and is written by Denise Alvarado. So I'm going to be reading this book, and I will definitely give you guys a review on it. It talks about her life. It also talks about how to be a devotee of Mary Laveau. And I think it has like some spell work and candle magic things in the back and stuff like that. Like I said, I didn't really buy it for that part of the book, but I did buy it for her life story. So I am going to be looking at this book, and I will definitely give you guys a honest review of that book. And so I'm excited about that. I also needed a new altar cloth. My altar cloth, I've been having it for years. The one that I do readings on, and it's like stained. It has burn marks on it. It has holes in it. So I said I will buy spiritual things because I am in a spiritual business as needed. And I definitely needed an altar cloth. So I went to Amazon. The book I also got from Amazon too. The candles I got from my local botanica. And this I got from Amazon as well. And it's actually an altar cloth. It was less than $20. And it also comes with a tarot bag. I needed both. So this comes 2 in 1. So it comes with a really nice tarot bag, which I'm going to be putting my Hoodoo tarot deck in here eventually. Because I have it like on a temporary bag. It's not that great. So I'm going to bless and charge this. And that's going to be the home of my Hoodoo tarot. And I got this really pretty purple altar cloth. I'm going to do my readings with it, which I think is really, really, really pretty. I love it. So, and I like it. It's like, it feels like velvet. It feels like that. It feels really nice. Because like I said, my altar cloth is really old and messed up. So, okay. And then I allowed myself to buy 3 decks for the year of 2019. So this pretty much, because the Hoodoo Tarot was pre-ordered, so this pretty much is going to cover that. I had this deck years ago, back in 2014, and I ended up gifting it after I stopped using it. And lately I've really missed it. And so I've been like drawn to start working with this deck again. And it's the Psychic Tarot Oracle. And I didn't like the Psychic Tarot of the Heart. That one I gifted because I didn't like it. But this one I did connect with it. I ended up, when my daughter started getting into divination, I ended up giving it to her and things like that. So she ended up really having some great readings with it and things like that. So I'll do a full walkthrough of this on another video, but I just wanted to show some of the cards. And these are the backs, and this is a 65 card deck. So I've been drawn to work with this deck again, so I will be doing that. And what I like about it is, so the major arcanas are black, and then the minors have the colors of different chakras. So you got root chakra, you got the waters is like the heart chakra. Then you have like your, I think it's throat or third eye. I believe this is the third eye. Yeah, third eye, because the swords. And this is your crown chakra. And then it has these really, and there is some diversity in here too. I was looking through the cards. And you also have your chakra cards that are dedicated to each of the chakras. So yeah, so this is the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. And I read this more as an Oracle deck, and I love it. I had really great readings with it when I used to work, like when I first started using cards and stuff. This was one of the first decks I ever got, along with the Angel Tarot, and I worked with them for a long time. And I've been drawn to start working with that one again. And then I got this one, so that will be it for my deck purchasing in 2019, if I'm to keep my deaf year goals. I allowed myself to get 2 or 3 new decks, so that will pretty much be it. And this one is, and I'll do a walkthrough of this one another day too, The Spirit Messages by John Holland. And these are the gorgeous backs. And all the cards have different like colors in it and things. I've never had this deck, but I was drawn to get this one because I wanted to get daily messages. It was like a Doreen virtual deck. I used to have it years ago, but my copy pretty much is unusable. So I don't have that deck, and now that's out of print, so it's like really expensive. So I'm going to try to see if I can connect with this one, being that it's just as wordy as the Doreen virtual deck, and use this, you know, for a daily poll and things like that. Because I do use oracles for a daily draw once in a while and things like that. So I'm starting to get back into oracle decks. I just like the ones that have like light and shadow and stuff like that. I think that's why I don't relate to the ones that are so like everything is awesome type of deal. Okay, so that's the haul. Now to get to the Hoodoo Tarot. So I unboxed the Hoodoo Tarot a couple of days ago, and I have to say this deck did not disappoint me at all. I got it yesterday. I worked with it yesterday. I worked with it today. So it's only the second day. And from the readings that I did with this deck is so amazing. And I looked through the guidebook and it's so amazing. Like, this deck is beautiful. When I was doing the walkthrough of the deck, I didn't notice some things. I was so excited. Like, there's spirits grabbing her in this one. And there was another card that I was like, whoa. And then when I read the guidebook, like, a lot of the stuff started to make sense too, because then I started noticing the other details, because I went through the deck while I was reading the guidebook. Like, oh my god, it's amazing. Like this card, let me give you an example. The 9 of Knives. Like, in this card in the guidebook, it literally talks about there was an actual Holocaust with African Americans, and these are like, I think she said the fruits are peaches, if I'm not mistaken, that to this day no one eats from the tree that grow on this the piece of land, because of all the people that were killed there, in this just massive, like, killing of people of color. So that's how, like, there's a lot of historical stuff in this deck. That was amazing. There's another card I'm looking for right now. Oh, I should have prepared myself better. Okay, this one. The Hanged Man is Gullah Jack, and if you look at the card, he has a noose tied around his neck. Like, literally, they used to lynch our people, so that's deep. That's how deep this deck is. Like, it's amazing. Like, it's amazing. This deck is. Then this one was about a man who got killed in a church. That's the 10 of Knives. Like, that, like, it's historical. This card, the ancestors are behind her. She's defending herself. She got her mojo back. She has her gun. She has her Bible. She's choosing to fight. This card I drew the first day that I got it. And it talks about Titubia, who was a woman of color. And I've said that on my channel before. This is like the confirmation right there. That she was a mixed woman, a woman of color. And she was also part of the Salem, when they were hunting down witches and things, because she did actually practice witchcraft. She was a Afro-Caribbean person, and she was part Arawak. I'm part Arawak, so that's crazy. When I did a reading, like, that was my significator card. Like, that's amazing to me, because she was an intuitive woman. She was part, she had African descent. She also had part Arawak. Like, she's exactly from my tribe. Like, I learned some things about her. And things of that nature. Like, that's amazing to me. Like, amazing. So, you know what I mean? So, like, that's how well every single symbology, every single item that they have in this, like, literally everything was so picked out. Like, one of my subscribers said, it literally feels like a deck that was channeled. Like, there's so much more you can do with this than just, you know what I mean, just do readings with it. Like, this deck is so deep. This book is so good. For example, today I drew the Freeman, the Fool. I'm like, okay. When I saw it, I was like, okay, I don't understand, but all right. And literally, this card is all about, okay, someone's going to the cemetery and getting dirt. And the thing, it says the meaning. So you have the free man, the fool. And then right under it, for example, I'm going to read you the message for the fool. It has a Bible verse, John 8:32. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Because in Conjure, the Bible was something, okay? The Bible was something that was used in magical traditions, okay? The plant was the Jimson weed. So that there's plants, because root work, I've talked about this many times on my channel, that in root work, okay, there's always that you have to work with the roots. Just like the Bible's important in Conjure, the root is too. That's what they call it, the root worker, because they're working the roots. In the image, it says, the man is walking away from the tomb of Joshua John Ward of Georgetown County, South Carolina. Ward was the largest American slaveholder, dubbed the king of the rice planters. The man is carrying a mason jar filled with dirt. Who is this young man? Did he know Ward personally? Why did he risk being persecuted for trespassing or witchcraft? Does he have a purpose at all, or is this man just plain crazy? And then it starts talking about freedom. Is it a state of mind, a state of being, or is it both? The free man doesn't think about it any more than a fish contemplates water. The free man isn't deep because death, by definition, prohibits unrestricted movement upon the surface. The free man was probably deep prior to the outset of his journey into the unknown, the unfathomable, and the unpredictable, or he wouldn't have had the wisdom to know that the concept of safety is an illusion anyway. The free man has seen many people get beaten by life, or in fact had no life at all, because they were afraid to take risk. He had heard many people say one day regarding their dreams and heard way too few days. It's true, people always saying tomorrow, tomorrow. He has conversed with talented acquaintances that felt more comfortable dwelling on abstractions and distractions than investing in their potential. The free man is tired of being so deep, so calculating, so restricted, and so dead. The free man is card zero because zero is not a natural number, since most people normally don't start counting with zero. Likewise, the free man doesn't count in situations that demand subservience to conventional wisdom or the status quo. The free man is on a whole other level because he genuinely feels that common sense is for common people. He doesn't think he's better than anyone. He has just accepted the new grass doesn't grow as lusciously on a beaten path. The free man is definitely foolish to most people who encounter him because he appears to be reckless and immature. But such assessments are only relevant when gain or loss is the focus. The free man doesn't exist in the space where those thoughts flourish. He is more interested in the attainment of wisdom by following his passions and what he knows to be true, whatever they may ultimately lead. The free man has what every great root worker has always had, the courage to follow their calling, despite the possibility dire consequences, and an unshakable faith that made that courage possible. This message resonates. Like, it's so good. And then there's like questions if you want to do like deeper work. Certain questions you will ask yourself when you get this card. So it's really, really, it's so deep. And there's on the other side too, like questions that you will ask yourself. So I'm going to journal a lot with this one because I kind of got bored with journaling my readings. But this one is like a deck that you can really journal. You can meditate. You can get messages. You can connect with your ancestors. In the deck, it also talks about the forms of divination traditionally used in Hoodoo. And they talk about the different ones. My family was cartomancy. And it confirms everything I've always told you guys. Is divination by means of interpreting cards, traditionally playing cards. That's how I worked. I've had other people of Africa that said, yes, such and such in my family read playing cards. And it basically confirms what I said too. The manner in which the cards were prepared to be read and the meanings attributed to the cards were different from mainstream cartomancers. We had our own way of reading cards, which in my family too, like there's books that don't always correspond the way I read playing cards because I read playing cards according to the tradition in my family. So like, the woman who wrote this book, she did her research really, really good. I love that she incorporated Bible. I love that she incorporated roots. I love that she changed like the whole court cards, the people cards. They're more family. So you have the mother, you have your elders, and you have the children. The male and female child. In the major arcana, she changed the names of things, but it makes sense because she picked certain people to represent different things in Hoodoo. I learned about people I've never heard of and things like that. So you can actually really learn Black history through this deck too. For those of us that were a part of the diaspora and you want to learn more about your ancestors, there's actual stories in here that you can learn. Like there's one card that talks about John the Conqueror root. And things like that. Like it's so deep. Like it's so deep. You have the 5 of coins. The root worker from Missouri named Sam Nightingale is shown giving 2 down and out people a spiritual cleansing with herbs and rum. Sam was originally from Guinea and was well loved and respected as a storyteller, conjurer in Missouri. So it teaches you history and then it gives you the meaning of the card. And it also has reversals if you want to do the reversal meanings. Like it's so much in here. Like I said, you have questions you can ask yourself. Then also she has references to other books you can read. She talks about Native Americans. She talks about hoodoo lamps and where that originated from. Like, it's so good for the book itself. Like I was saying, the death card. Let's look at the death card. It just came up too. Like, well, we gotta be like that. You know, it's, oh my god, like I can't even. I can't. Like, it's so good. It's so good. The card that I got yesterday, the daughter of Baskets. The daughter of Baskets is generally the bearer of good news. On the positive side, she's charming, and you know, all those good traits there. And then you see Tatuba was an enslaved teenager who was accused of being a witch in Salem, Massachusetts, and is depicted here as the daughter of Baskets. She was of Arawak heritage. That's the same tribe I'm from. So, like, I mean, it's just such a good deck. It's so good, guys. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's just, yeah. Okay, the nine of knives. You have lavender, then you have the image here. The screaming skull is surrounded by 9 peaches with knives stuck through them. This symbolizes the troubled spirits of the approximately 20,000 newly emancipated slaves who were placed in concentration camps in Natchitoches, Mississippi. The majority of the men, women, and children died a slow, agonizing death from the disease or starvation. The camp was located at the bottom of a pit where wild peaches trees grew. That's why this place came to be known as the Devil's Punch Bowl. To this day, no one eats the peaches because they know the bodies of those tortured people fertilized the soil. It was not the custom of indigenous people to eat anything that grew in areas that were considered beset with negative energy such as this, because the despair would be internalized by whoever partook of such foods. And then it goes into the meanings of the card. This is how good this is. The 10 of Knives is a root worker and a pastor that was killed in a church. His name was George Webster. Like, he was actually killed in his church for witchcraft. Like, this is a historically accurate deck, because so much of Hoodoo's history has gotten lost, and that's why I did 29 days of melanated excellence. Like, honestly, guys, I highly recommend the Hoodoo Tarot. If you are someone that wants to learn about African American conjure and you want to learn just some historical things and things like that, like, I highly recommend this deck. Like, I feel like the person who made this deck, like, I get emotional. Literally, I feel like this queen right here was literally channeling our ancestors, and they wanted their stories to be told, because I cannot describe to you, when I decided to do this challenge, how hard it's been to dig up the history of our people that have contributed to this spiritual practice that's getting buried. It's so important to pass on these stories of these great workers, because then they could live through our stories. We could pass that on to our children and future generations and all the little new people coming into the path. So I love this deck. Like, I love it. I highly recommend it. I've been journaling with it. I'm going to continue to work with it for the month of February, but I've had some readings with this one. Like, when I got when I saw the meaning of the nine of knives, like, it made me cry. Like, 20,000 people. Like, this deck is amazing. 5 stars. Like, this is a deep deck. But anyways, much love, much light, much blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you want to work with me on a one-on-one basis, shamanic@workpriestess.com. And you can book a psychic reading and connect to the past, present, and future. And I can also give you time frames and all those wonderful things, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you want any of my spiritual services, shamanic@workpriestess.com. Thank you. Many blessings to you. And may the ancestors continue to bless you. And happy Black History Month. Bye, guys.